Hey Chris, this is just kind of like a general walkthrough of your website. Took a look at your website, ran it through one of the tools that I use to kind of tell you a little bit about like how well the website ranks and some things that you can do to kind of improve it. Overall, it just gives you a score, and we usually just provide this to like our clients that we start working with from an SEO standpoint. We also provide it now for if people want to pay to actually get a copy of it, we send that away too. But it's the baseline that I kind of use to kind of first look at a website to kind of see how it is and just make some recommendations. But overall, first thing is your title tag. Um, you scored well on your title tag, but the thing is, and the thing that a tool won't actually tell you is like what and how to use your title tag. For instance, you can use this for actually putting together keywords or putting keywords into your title tag rather than just having your company name, because again, you want to think about how can I increase my visibility. So you might use terms like massage therapist, or you might use best massage, like some of the ones that you used in your meta description, but you might want to target like a specific location as well too. So these are just like some of the blends that you can have to add into your title tag so that you can take advantage of the 50 and 60 characters that you have. And you want to put your most important keywords, and by that it means what are your top services that are probably more competitive, but you might be more likely to show up and rank for higher. Again, your description is the same thing. You scored well because it fits into that 70, 160 character mark or baseline. But again, it's just a way for you to kind of think about certain keywords that you want to put into in your website to make sure that you're ranking for. And this is essentially how it looks on Google. So once you put in your title tag and meta description, this is how it's going to look from a Google standpoint. Your headers, again, um, essentially what you're doing by organizing your website is you're making it easier for Google to understand exactly what it is that you do. So you'll see that the more H1 headers, H2 headers that talk about exactly what it is that you do, the better for your website. So you'll see there's not a ton, but if you decided to, like for instance, have this chair massage, and the way that you organize your website from the way that it looks, but also from this standpoint is how Google actually reads your website and understands exactly what it is. So it's just important to keep that in mind. It has a look at the keyword cloud to see what specific keywords that you're using in the website as well too. And you don't want to just throw in keywords. That's one of the big no-nos from a Google standpoint, because the more keywords you try to throw in, or keyword stuff, which is the term that people use, the less likely Google is to kind of find your website anyway. So you want to make it natural as possible. And this just gives a breakdown of this. And a lot of another thing is your alt attributes, which is basically like what you put into your images, because a lot of people can search based off of images too, and naming your images can be a big part as well too. You don't have a ton of images on your website, so you scored well on this, but it's another thing that you can kind of do if you have images that you might want to mix in, then just making sure to name them and have that information there. So again, if people are searching for images, your website might show up, and again, it might give you another way to, of course, be found. In-page links are just links, coming from the websites, and basically you can link between pages. It's just kind of like a good principle to kind of do that as well too. But you're doing well with that. No broken links, meaning that if I click a link, it does where it doesn't go anywhere. That's good. Robots TXT. This is just again another way for you to kind of organize your website. Squarespace is really good at that. So when you set up a Squarespace website, you usually get your TXT already set up for you, your XML sitemap, which these are all things on how Google kind of reads your website overall. Um, these are another just couple ranking factors and things like that. Something as small as having your website for 10 or 50 years actually is a good sign of stability, which makes you a little bit more of a relevant site. So these are just some of the ranking factors that Google goes through. Blogging is an opportunity that most local business owners could take advantage of, and a lot of it is because of the long tail, which means that people might not actually type in massage in Kingstown or massage in Alexandria, but they might have a really long tail question that they ask, and that's because of Siri, where people were actually typing in sentences rather than just keywords as well. So it's always good to show up for the keywords, but also thinking and keeping in mind that somebody might type in, why does my neck hurt? What things can I do to improve that? Might be a blog post that you write instead of, and you can actually title the blog post that. But again, it helps you to show up or rank, or your blog to rank in a lot of the ways that people are searching. And of course, the more active your site is, if there's changes and updates, then it attracts the Google spiders as well too. Mobile friendliness, very good. Squarespace websites are usually a good baseline. What you'll see a little bit later on is the big issue where you use website builders like Wix and Weebly and Squarespace is that you can't really access the website files. So generally speaking, your mobile speed is usually going to be slower than the typical website, and it's harder to actually access the files and make changes to it. So that's usually why, I always say that, you want to pay attention to like what you're doing and understand what you're getting when you're using the website builders. You reduce the cost, but sometimes you sacrifice certain things from an SEO standpoint, especially. URL, again, you having a short URL is good. 404 page, then if somebody goes to the wrong website or wrong page and that doesn't show up, then again, that's something too. Load time, I think one of the things that you do well with this as well too is there's not a lot of images, so it's a pull between having a lot of images. Some of the websites that really load really slow are because they have so many images, but it's a good balance that you want to have between having enough images and not having too much that it completely slows down your website. Or if you're going to have a lot of images, making sure they're compressed and things like that. So these are just other ways to kind of look at, kind of get recommendations of other domains that you can get as well too. Like you can go as far as type in different typos and get those domains. And again, it talks about cyber squatters just because you don't want people to come and buy that domain, and usually they'll try to sell it to you, but you don't want people to kind of take that. So here's recommendations as far as that. Let's see. Another big part is, I'm sure you probably have analytics built into Squarespace, but one thing that I would definitely recommend is understanding just how many people are coming to your site, what pages they're coming to, things like that, because that helps make a lot of decisions about what works, what doesn't work, and how you can do that. Squarespace probably does have something built in, but you can also use Google Analytics because it's completely free and you can embed that into your website. I know there's a way for you to do that on Squarespace. They have an actual section where you can add that in as well too. SSL, another big factor. You see, you'll have an SSL certificate, which looks like you have for this site, or at least it detected it. So again, you just have a secure website. And again, Squarespace is really good at that as well too. This is probably one of the bigger opportunities. I would say the blog and backlinks are pretty much huge. If you're not really familiar with what backlinks are, they're essentially links that come from different websites to your website. So this pretty much ranks it as bad, and that plays still a major part in how you rank online. So you want to just kind of pay attention to that, and that's one of the big parts of the regular reoccurring cost of like an SEO or doing something like that, is because you're claiming backlinks on a regular basis, and you want to do it in a good way. If you get like 1,000 links, you can buy 1,000 links, 1,000 backlinks, and that will hurt you more than it helps you because it doesn't look organic, it doesn't look natural. So you sometimes get you get pinged from Google or put on the bad list for Google. So if you don't know what backlinks are, I wanted to kind of show you, like, this is what you find when you type in your company. And a backlink is simply, again, a link that goes to a separate site. So I'll go to your Facebook page. It's going to take a little while to load, but when I go to your Facebook page, if I go down, I see that you have a link here to You Deserve Massage. That's essentially a backlink because it's facebook.com You Deserve Massage that goes back to your website. Now, there's so many different links that you can have. You can have links that are thumbtack, like you have here, which might be 2 of the 3 that you have, but there's probably some more elsewhere. But Yelp, The big ones, Yelp, Yellow Pages, different backlinks like that help out. But overall, you can get a lot of quality backlinks. And what we usually do is just do research to find out what are the best backlinks for you and kind of do that. So these are two things that kind of, talk about that, but also keep in mind that all backlinks are not created equal. So, for instance, if there's like an ESPN for a massage, or it might be something as small as Mind Body, or doing something like that, linking back to your website, that helps out as well too. So it's just like if it's a respected domain, like an ESPN or a CNN, if they did a story about you and they link back to your site, that's going to be a really high quality backlink. And each of the websites has a ranking score. So if I created a website today, it's not going to have a high page rank, whereas a CNN or a ESPN, or an ABC or Fox or whatever, those have a lot of weight. They pull a lot of weight. So getting an article or post on there is absolutely huge. Another big thing is social media. Just being able to leverage and use social media is another big ranking factor from an SEO standpoint. So just kind of keeping that in mind as well too. This is what I talked about as far as the local directories. These are forms of backlinks, but again, you can get, this has a Foursquare page, Yelp page, but there's a lot of little local directories that you can kind of add on as well too. This just estimates your traffic just to get an idea of who's coming to your website and how much people are coming. So that's important to know. Um, and that's kind of like it in a nutshell, kind of showing you exactly like what and how your website is ranking. What I also did, and I'll send you a copy of this, is I went through and found out like where you're actually ranking for the specific keywords. This is probably the main page you want to look at. This is more if we were doing like SEO for a long time, you can see how your rankings are going up and down. But overall, you'll get a copy of this and you'll just be able to see like what page shows up when people search. So you got to figure there's about 10 spots on the first page of Google. So what you're looking at is when you show up 42, that's going past the fourth page or on the fourth page. 86 is again a little bit faster. NTH stands for not top 100. So these are just different things to show. So like all these reports and everything, that's kind of how they manifest themselves through these reports and kind of show you exactly where you're ranking. But the whole idea is you do a lot of these things in order to help sorry about that, to help improve your overall ranking here. So that's just kind of a nutshell of what and how your website kind of looks. If you have any questions or you want to sit down and kind of go into a little bit more depth, definitely let me know. I'm more than free to talk to you, but just let me know if you have any questions.